Good afternoon. Our group of students Şursunbekariya, Evoyeva Martina, Kerimbekarayalım, Ayhanbay Fedel. Our topic is chemical bonding. The next plan, number 1, ionic bonding. The second, metallic bonding. The third, covalent bond and its types. And the hydrogen bonding.
Chemical bonds, atoms are connected to each other to form simple and complex substances. Different chemical bonds are formed from it: ionic, covalent, polar and non-polar, metallic and hydrogen. Now we'll talk about ionic bonding. Ionic bonding is bond between metals when they have plus electrons and non-metals when they have gained electrons. Opposite charge is attract, and this attraction is referred to as an ionic bond. Atom which gain an electron form a negative ion, and an atom which plus an electron form a positive ion. Examples of ionic ions in everyday life: sodium chloride is known as table salt. Sodium bicarbonate is known as baking soda. Sodium hydroxide is known as drain cleaner. Magnesium sulfate is known as Epsom salt, and sodium hypochlorite is known as bleach. Dot and cross diagrams of ionic compounds. This dot and cross diagrams show how sodium, which have one electron in its outer shell, will last an electron to become an ion with plus one charge. An atom of fluorine takes the electron from sodium, so that it now has full order of 8 electrons, and since the atom chlorine takes the electron, its ion has a minus one charge. Ionic bond. Ionic bond is a bond between metal and non-metal. For example, copper is metal, sulfur non-metal, sodium is metal, chlorine non-metal. Let's illustrate the formation of ionic bonds. For example, take sodium chloride. Sodium has one electron in outer level. This dot represents this electron, and chlorine has 7 electrons. This 7 dots represent 7 electrons. We know that ionic bond is formed when the most electronegative atom takes electrons from the most least electronegative atom. These square brackets brighten on the ionic bond and show that chlorine has taken all electrons from sodium and chlorine. Chlorine took an electron from sodium and become a negative charge -1, and sodium lost an electron and it become a positive charge +1 charge.
The next covalent bonding. A covalent bond is a chemical that involves the sharing of electrons between atoms. These electron pairs are known as shared pairs and bonding pairs. The stable balance of attractive and repulsive offer between atoms when they sharing electrons is known as covalent bonding. A covalent bond is divided into two types: a non-polar bond and a polar bond. The next covalent non-polar bond. If two atoms of the same electronegativity are covalent to bond, then such is called non-covalent polar bond. In a molecule with a non-covalent bond, the distance between the two atomic nuclei to the shared electron shell is to the same. For example, in the above hydrogen molecules, the shared electron shell of two hydrogen nuclei is located at the same distance from both nuclei. Next, covalent polar bonds. If the valence of two with different electronegativity form a shared pair, as a shared electrons pair is attractive to the nuclei of the atom with the dominant electronegativity, such a bond is called a covalent polar bond. A covalent bond. Covalent bond is a chemical bond that involves the sharing of electrons to form electron pairs between atoms. Covalent bonds are divided into two types: a non-polar bond and a polar bond. If there are valence electrons, if two atoms with different electronegativity form a shared pair, the shared electron pair is attracted to the nucleus of the atom with the dominant electronegativity. Such a bond is called a covalent polar bond. Now let's take an electrons of a polar and the non-polar construction. Non-polar bond as a result of the attraction of a fluorine and the unpaired electrons of the fluorine atom, a non-polar covalent bond is formed, and the polar bond as a result of the attraction of the unpaired electrons of the hydrogen atom and the chlorine atom, a covalent polar bond is formed.
The next of hydrogen bonding. In chemistry, a hydrogen bond is primarily an electrostatic force of attraction between a hydrogen atom which is covalent bonded to a more electronegative donor. The atom are grouped and another electronegative atom bearing a lone pair of electrons, the hydrogen bond acceptor. Such an interacting system is generally denoted where the solid line denotes a polar covalent bond and the dotted or dashed line indicated the hydrogen bond, the most of frequent donor, and the acceptor. Atom, the period 2 element, nitrogen, oxygen, and the fluorine. The next of mechanism of hydrogen connection formation. The first of electrostatic attraction of a hydrogen atom that has a partially positive charge and an oxygen atom fluorine and or nitrogen that has a partially negative charge. The next donor acceptor interaction between the almost free orbital of a hydrogen atom and an unzipped electron pair of an oxygen atom.
Hydrogen bonding. First, it is an intermolecular bond where partially positive hydrogen of one molecules are drawn towards partially negative non-metal of other molecular. Fluorine, oxygen, or nitrogen, for example. Between hydrogen and oxygen inside the molecular water is formed covalent polar bond. Between oxygen of one molecule and the hydrogen of other molecule inside hydrogen bond is formed because it is intermolecular bond.
The next, metallic bonding. Metallic bonding is a type of chemical bonding that arises from the electrostatic attraction force between conditioned electrons and the positively charged metal ions. It might be described as the sharing of free electrons among a structure of positively charged ions. An example showing metallic bonding represents cations and represent freely melting electrons. The metallic bond forms when atoms give up their valence electron, then forms an electron C. The positively charged atom cores are bonded by mutual attraction to the negatively charged electrons. When voltage is applied, the series of electrons can move freely to produce a current.
Bond, metal and ions. Same examples: aluminum, magnesium, sodium, potassium, and copper. Atom metallic bond. A metallic bond is a type of chemical bond formed between positively charged atoms, in which the free electrons charged cations.
Conclusion: all chemical bonding is due to electrostatic attraction. When atoms combine through chemical bonding, they form compound unique structures composed of two or more atoms. The basic composition of a compound can be indicated using a chemical formula. Thank you for attention.